So they actually went and did it. In the final moments of Squid Game, Gi-hun, the man we followed through 3 seasons of hell, is dead. But I want to talk about why his death wasn't a tragedy. In fact, I think it was the single greatest victory in the entire series. From the final, horrifying confrontation with a corrupted father to the profound meaning behind his last words, Gi-hun's final choice redefines what it means to win. So, with the finale now released, I want to dive into that last devastating scene on the Sky's Squid Game and explain why Gi-hun's sacrifice was his ultimate triumph. Just to let you know, this video will contain major spoilers for the finale of Squid Game Season 3. You have been warned. The final confrontation explained. The final game comes down to just 3 people on that last, terrifying circle platform high in the sky. Gi-hun, the innocent baby he's been protecting, and the baby's father, Lee Myung-gi. It always kind of felt like Myung-gi was going to show his true colors. And boy, did he. He drops the friendly act and reveals his monstrous plan. He wants Gi-hun to hand over the baby so he can throw his own child from the tower and walk away with all the money. I was in shock, to be honest. We've seen evil in the show, but a father trying to kill his own newborn for cash is a whole new level of dark. He truly represents what the creator, Hwang Dan-yuk, called the lowest bottom of human beings.
Gi-hun, of course, refuses, which leads to this brutal knife fight. In the struggle, Myung-gi falls to his death. But here's the twisted part. His death doesn't count. The rules of Sky Squid Game state a round only begins when a player presses the start button, and no one had. So because Myung-gi's death was an accident and not an official elimination, the game isn't over. Gi-hun is now left with the show's final horrible choice. Press the button and kill the baby to win, or sacrifice himself. We are not horses, we are humans. It was actually Gi-hun's next move that revealed the entire point of the series. He turns to the VIPs watching behind the glass and says the words, "We are not horses, we are humans." This line is everything. It is his ultimate rejection of commodification. It's a direct rebuke to the VIPs who treat the players like betting objects. But it's also deeply personal. I say this because back in Season 1, Gi-hun was a compulsive gambler, crushed by debt from betting on horse races. He was part of a system that treats living things as a means to an end. Now he throws that metaphor right back in their faces, defiantly reclaiming his dignity. And then he leaves the sentence unfinished, "and humans are," and steps backwards off the platform to his death. The power of leaving that sentence incomplete is immense. It transforms viewers from passive observers to active participants. It becomes a cultural mirror, a direct challenge not just to the frontman and the VIPs, but to us. He forces us to fill in the blank. Are humans the monstrous, greedy creatures represented by Myung-gi, or are they what Gi-hun proves them to be in his final moment, capable of profound, selfless sacrifice? Why this death was actually a victory? To understand why Gi-hun's sacrifice was a victory, we need to remember where this season began, with Gi-hun at absolute rock bottom. He was suicidal, nihilistic, and so consumed by guilt over the failed rebellion that during the hide-and-seek game, he strangled his former ally Da-ho to death. It looked like the game had finally broken him and turned him into a monster. But that's exactly why his final act is so powerful. It wasn't just heroic, it was the ultimate rebellion. First, it broke the system's core philosophy. The entire Squid Game apparatus is built on one cynical belief that when pushed to the absolute limit, every human being will choose selfish survival. For 3 seasons, the games have been designed to prove this point. Gi-hun's sacrifice doesn't just disprove it, it obliterates it. Second, it provided his definitive answer. Remember that unfinished sentence? His action completes it. Through his choice, he declares, "And humans are capable of love that transcends self-preservation, capable of moral courage that money cannot buy, capable of dignity that no system can strip away." Third, it achieved something no winner ever could. Every previous winner left the games wealthy but morally bankrupt. Gi-hun left the games dead, but spiritually victorious. He won the only battle that actually mattered, the war for humanity's soul. And perhaps the most telling part is the frontman's reaction. For the first time, we see him genuinely shaken, confronted with undeniable proof that his cynical worldview was wrong.
This was hands down the most powerful scene in the entire series. It had the brutal action of the knife fight, the raw emotion of Gi-hun's choice, and a profound, unforgettable message. Lee Jung-jae's performance, taking Gi-hun from a broken man to a defiant martyr, was simply incredible. I was haunted by his final choice, and I was inspired by his defiant last words. It was the perfect, tragic climax for his character. I truly believe that Gi-hun's death was the only way he could have truly won. He didn't just win the game for the baby, he won the war for humanity's soul within that cruel system. This entire show is a scathing anti-capitalist critique, where structural poverty creates disposable racehorses for the rich. From a humanist perspective, his sacrifice asserts that human worth exists independent of utility or economic value. By choosing to save a baby who has no market value, no ability to work or produce, he demonstrates values that exist completely outside capitalist logic. I'm so glad that the writers made such a brave and meaningful choice for his ending. So there you have it, my deep dive into Gi-hun's final moments. What did you think of his sacrifice? Do you agree that it was his greatest victory? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next.